and welcome to another session of Basic Digital Marketing. When marketers all over the world are asked the question, which area in digital you see is growing in importance as the years go by, they invariably told us about two areas. Now, one of them is actually data analytics, which we already covered extensively in last 3 lectures. The other one is content marketing, which we'll talk today. Let me put it like this. Content marketing is like the right hand and data analytics is like the left hand. So it basically means they're both very important and they're actually invariably linked with each other. Now, why is content marketing becoming such a key battleground? Firstly, as marketers all over the world are fighting for the consumer's attention, that fight inevitably becomes a fight between who has the better content. And as there is an explosion of choices for consumers and distraction for them to get distracted to, the marketers like us always have to up our game in order to draw that consumer attention back to us, and that challenge is becoming more and more difficult by every day. Secondly, in digital it's actually much easier to launch something and create a short-term buzz than actually to continue maintaining the momentum or the buzz without having a new launch to talk about. So it's actually very easy to create a Facebook group and create 1 lakh users or followers in 3 weeks. It's a much more difficult ball game when it's about maintaining engagement and buzz for 2 years and steadily increasing the number of followers. For the second option, for the second ball game, we need a very different kind of strategy, which is a long-term content creation strategy. A successful content creation strategy has 4 parts. We will talk 3 of them today, which focuses on the content creation part, and the other one, which is about content amplification or content sharing, we'll talk about in the next lecture. So let's start. We start by looking into the fundamentals, which means that you focus on who you're targeting with the content, what are you trying to achieve, and what are your content creation succession one after another, looking into the longer term. For this purpose, we look into a very simple framework which basically talks about 3 different contents for 3 different objectives and for 3 different audiences. The first kind of content that you can focus on is that what we call a hero content. Now, a hero content is nothing but a big ticket, infrequently used, expensive content, like a very expensively made or produced video, whose purpose is actually to create awareness among the people who probably do not know about you. The second kind of content that you can create is what is known as a hub content. A hub content is actually more frequently used. It focuses more on turning a typical user into a consumer or purchaser. The third kind of content is what we call a hygiene content, which focuses on the people who are already following you, already your consumer. You just want to keep them engaged for a longer term. So these are 3 kind of content that you have to keep on producing if you want to be successful on a longer term. Secondly, a keen understanding of the consumer helps in creating successful content. Now, what do we mean by a successful content? It's actually a very difficult question to answer. Based on different parameters, a success can be something that created buzz in a very short term, or it can be something that is still continuing to create buzz even after a long time gap has elapsed. Or it can be something that has created no buzz but actually helped you to create a lot of conversion. So success can be defined in many different ways. But no matter what way you define success, a good content makes people either talk or do or both. And this is where the principle of buzz creation kicks in. Now, a word that floats around a lot these days is called viral. Now, everyone wants to create a viral phenomenon, which is understandable. Everyone wants attention and success overnight and cheaply. But by chasing a viral phenomenon, we actually make a lot of very common mistakes. Mistake number 1, we wrongly assume that the need to create a viral phenomenon is a very new thing in digital era, which is not true at all. In fact, even in traditional marketing, we spend a lot of time and energy behind creating and understanding what is word of mouth marketing. And viral is nothing but that word of mouth marketing getting a digital makeover. Secondly, we assume that in an attention economy, the one that screams the loudest and talks the most will get the most attention. Now, as per the principle dictates, that is not true. Because if you scream the loudest, you may create a short-term attention and short-term buzz very quickly, but not necessarily a viral. Because the principle of viral dictates that for that to happen, consumer needs to be delighted so that he feel that he needs to share that. And if you're always in the habit of overselling yourself, or if you get known as someone who is always providing a lot of excitement, the consumer will approach you with a lot of expectation. And at that time, for you to keep on delivering something which creates a lot of shares, it becomes very, very difficult. The third thing that we need to understand about content creation is that it needs to appeal to the consumer's emotion. Think about it. What are the things that usually you like to share? Typically, it's something that appeals to you emotionally, either through humor or through fear or through excitement. So appealing to the consumer's emotion is vital for creating some kind of viral content. So to summarize, a long-term successful content creation strategy has to have few things. One, it has to have a longer-term planning horizon. B, it always has to exceed consumers' expectation. And C, it has to appeal to the consumer on an emotional level. So that's it for content creation strategies. In the next session, we started looking into how a successful content creation strategy has to go beyond creation only and start looking into sharing of the content itself. Until then, goodbye.